Hi, welcome back to Art by Brooke. So in a recent video, I did a paint pour using materials and supplies from the dollar store. So I wanted to expand on that and try to do a geode paint pour using only dollar store supplies. So I've already mixed up my paints. I have these acrylic paints. I got all of these things from Dollar Tree, which is something that I have near me. I also used tacky glue with some water added. And the canvas is from the dollar store, and so are the little cups that I used. This one I used one that I already had that came in a big pack of pretty cheap paper cups because I needed a bigger cup full of white for the geode pour. I also used popsicle sticks from the dollar store as well. Feel free to go look at my other video that I did to see how I mixed the paint and see all of the supplies I used, including what I use as my drop cloth. I also bought some glitters, and I may end up adding some of that to the end of this. I haven't used glitter directly onto a wet paint pour before, so we'll just kind of experiment. That's why it's fun working with inexpensive supplies, because you can go ahead and try different things and see what works. First thing I do with a geode pour is I cover the background in white. So there's a lot of white here. Need to save a little bit for later. I have a lot of white paint on here, probably more than I need, but I think because the glue flows a little slower, I would rather have more than not enough. In my last paint pour, I almost had not enough, so this will be good. So then I start a geode by going right in the middle and doing a puddle pour. And I like to start with a dark color so that it makes a nice outer rim. This part you need to work kind of quickly on so it doesn't get dried out too quickly. I'm seeing a lot of bubbles in these, even though I let it sit for quite a while, so I'm kind of worried about cells. I don't usually try to get very many cells in my geode paint pours, but I think it will probably be okay. We'll just find out. I'm going to use one of my extra glasses to make a dirty cup. Going to give it a little bit of a swipe through, and then I'll use that here. Kind of like a mini tree ring pour inside the puddle pour. This just gives some natural feel to some of the layers. I think this is probably enough, so I'm going to start turning it. blew on it a little bit to pop some of the cells. Unfortunately, a little bit of the white got blown across the black there, but I don't really mind it that much. It still looks pretty natural. So one thing I did notice from my last painting is that the cells didn't pop on their own, and I think that's because of the glue. The Floetrol cells will pop on their own as they dry, but glue seems to be a lot thicker of a substance, and so it seems to kind of hold its shape. So unfortunately, there's a lot of bubbles in here that may end up just drying in there that way. I couldn't get them all out. Now I would like to try to put some sparkles into this, so I'm going to go ahead and do that next. I grabbed some scrap paper I have that's just kind of a little square, and I'm going to put some of the sparkles in the middle and then try to use it like this to maybe go along some of the lines. I think I want to use probably the white, and I'll probably do it on the white lines. Actually, I think this will be fine on its own for pouring out. I think I'll just cut off a little corner and then pour it out of there. This feels a little less controllable. Let's see if I can cut the whole edge off. Okay, there we go. So now I'm just gonna go as carefully as I can. I feel like this could be bad. Oops, it comes out really fast and then not at all. Too much. Okay, I feel like there's a better way to do this and I just don't know how. Okay, that was very messy and not very well done, but let's see if I can clean up the edges at all. I think because I went thicker here, I'm going to need to go thicker here. Okay. It's not my favorite look, but I think we'll just have to see how that looks when it dries. I think that there's a lot of glitter sitting on the top that may not even get stuck down, so when it dries I'll probably tap it off and then see what it looks like underneath. I think I may actually try some of the silver sparkles and put some just kind of around and not try to do it in like a specific line, just because you would see sparkles throughout a geode. So let's try that. Just going kind of crazy with it now. What if I do here? Whoops. I just hit the bag and the sparkles went everywhere. I do have some white left, but I might have to just go in after the fact? I don't know. Let's just see if I can wipe some of this white across. This may be a bad idea as well. That actually wasn't terrible. With white is that it also shows everything else, so there's a little bit of specks of dust in here too, and that's kind of frustrating, but that kind of always happens when I do a geode, and unless you go in and touch up later, you're kind of just going to be stuck with that. Well, I think I am going to stop so I don't add too much. So I'm going to let it sit for a little bit and then we can do a close-up and you can see kind of how the glitter is sinking in and see what it looks like up close. So I just went to edit the video, and the footage for showing you the painting after it sat for a little while ended up getting messed up. So you get to kind of see it as the edges start to dry. I'm going to go ahead and go in and take a closer look. You can also see where the glitter kind of sunk in, which is pretty cool. It looks a lot more natural that way. Basically, the edges are starting to dry, so they're getting darker, but the middle is still wet. So I don't know if I already said this in the footage that I have, but I was really glad that this turned out so cool, because now if someone isn't able to get the same supplies that I use in their area, but they do have a dollar store or a store that has similar supplies, then they know that they can also create this type of thing. So I want to encourage all of you, if you've ever wanted to give this a try, please go ahead and try it. It's scary and a little frustrating the first couple times you do it, but it can be a lot of fun experimenting. Please leave a comment down below on if you would do something like this at home and what kinds of colors you would choose to use. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you haven't already. You can click the bell so you get notifications every time I post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.